and old prophecy fulfilled. Giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem Kodash. And we're about pushing prophecies. We're about getting the understanding of the whole book. But the main focus is on these prophecies coming to pass. This is why we hold this book in such high esteem, the scriptures, because this is the book of our forefathers. This is our book. And the book, the scriptures is broken up into parts. The laws, statutes, commandments, the writings, the history, the prophecies, the prophets. This is why it says in Isaiah 34, you cannot make this book with any other book, because this is the only book that truly gives prophecies. If you do a Google search on the book of prophecy, and I did this, you can do it yourself. Really only one book is going to come up, and that's the scriptures. This is the book of prophecies. I can't say that enough. And we here at Great Millstone, we're known for going into a lot of prophecies, especially in these times, because prophecies are being fulfilled before our eyes and in the past. So what I did was I was watching a video that the elder Malcolm, the head of Chicago GMS, put up on adultery. So I said I was going to do a video on that, and I was putting precepts together. And then the Spirit kind of guided me to a different direction. It guided me to the mark of the beast, the MOTB. So I went to the blue letter. Well, I went to the commentary, Bible commentary, and it kind of gives you what it actually means, the mark of the beast. Then I went back to the blue letter, which I already knew what their commentary, and then their commentary was a stamp being embedded in you. You know, paraphrasing what they said, you can go to it. If you go to Revelation 13, verse 16, and you click, and you look at the word, you look at the commentary, or their breakdown, and that shows you that they know that that's actually, you know, the chip. So this is the final, you know, what we're experiencing now. Can't say too much. Is one step before this thing comes to pass. It says in Revelation 13, you can't buy or sell, because it's not going to. Their plan is to destroy, do away with the paper dollar, and set up a blockchain. So now our understanding is even. We have a better understanding, of this chip, and now we understand what the buying and selling is. It's the so-called blockchain. Now, they may take this video down, so I suggest that you make a copy of this video, and I'll put this up raw. But anyway, I know that we know that we should know that the last the last prophecy that's going to come to pass before the destruction comes and our deliverance is a mark. If that doesn't come, the mass chipping, then the end will not come. Our kingdom will not come, because this would make the Most High a liar. Now I'm gonna say this. Years ago, the 80s. Let's say the 80s. It was the 80s. I pulled High Priest Ariel to the side and I asked him if the mark is something that they're going to actually put physically in your hand and your forehead, and he said yes. He said, but they're not going to have time to do it. And I left it like that. I didn't want to push the issue. But that was in the early 80s, before really all of you came in. You know, how many of you out there can say that you were in this truth since 84, 85, 82, 87? Not many. Johanna could say it, Barack could say it, maybe a few others, and that's about it. The rest of them are either dead or back in the world. Anyway, you know, I said I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna, you know, push the issue. But he said he told the truth, but he told half the truth. He said, yes, that's something that's going to actually physically be put in your hand or your forehead, but they're not going to have time to do it. Well, wait a minute. Then that would make the Most High a liar. That would make the Most High a liar. That would mean the prophecies that the Most High gave to the prophets and the apostles, not all of them going to come to pass. Now that doesn't make any sense. But this is for you guys that say you can't see it. And the reason why you can't see it, let's be honest. The reason why you other Israelite groups out there can't see it is because it's coming from GMS. Now, if Ariel had taught a class on it, all of you be teaching that. That's hatred, envy, whatever you want to call it. So basically, you're saying, "Oh, GMS, the Most High is not dealing with GMS, but we're doing everything that the scriptures say." There's so many. Look, in the beginning, when GMS was set up, we had brothers come from England, from Texas, from California, from different places to come around us. And that's when they were children in this thing, spiritually children. So now we got men in this thing that's been in this thing going on 15 years. So they're not children. They don't need to come around us. They're just doing the work. And I don't have to go around checking on whether they're doing their videos. It's all spiritual, man. The spirit just jumped on certain number of them, mostly all of them, because there's some of them that's bullshitting. But anyway, I'm all over the place. Please forgive me. Anyway, I'm just going to give you a example of a fulfillment of prophecy that Cambridge Bible for Schools and Colleges told the truth. I said, let me go to them and see what they say about this. And this scripture is Luke 19 verse 43. As a matter of fact, let me bring this up and let me go ahead and read it. Luke 19 verse 43. For the days shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench Now that word trench, what led me to the scripture was trench. Now the word trench is from the Greek word karax, which is the root word of charagma. Charagma in the Greek literally means graven. When you carve something out of wood, or you take a piece of marble and you carve, or you chisel the name of somebody that died, rest in peace or whatever. Well, that's the word charagma. So it's a physical thing. And karax, which is the root of charagma, which is trench. And when you make a trench, you make like a fence. You fence the walls. You fence something roundabout on a straight line. Now I'm going to show you something. It says, for the days shall come. Hope you can see it. For the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. So what does that mean? That's talking about 70 AD. During the reign of Titus and Vespasian, which they celebrated the downfall of Israel at that time. So that was a fulfillment of prophecy. So this is what it says in Cambridge Bible for Schools and Colleges. It says 43, the days often used of troublous times, which that's not the time of Jacob's trouble. There's only one time of Jacob's trouble, and it's about to come. And it's going to come after the MOBT is is fulfilled. Like the Latin tempora shall cast a trench about thee, rather shall surround thee with a palisade. The word palisade in the Greek is karax, which is the root for charagma. Something that is stuck in. Now the palisade or the karax is the delivery system. We keep saying this lately. We've been doing a lot of videos on the MOTB, because this is the next big major prophecy. This is why you're experiencing this thing about pushing this jab thing. And this is a world thing. Now the precepts, I'm not going to read them, but the precepts is Isaiah 29 verse 3 and 4, Isaiah 37 verse 33. Literally fulfilled 40 years afterwards at the siege of Jerusalem, which is around the key year was 70 AD, when Titus surrounded the city first with a palisade mound. Now a palisade mound is a fence. They took wood, they carved the wood to make it a point, and they stuck it into the ground. And they used whatever rope, whatever, to keep it up. So what they did was they put a fence up around Jerusalem, the city. And this is also the fulfillment of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, where it speaks about you shall eat your sons and daughters for the lack of bread. I'm merely paraphrasing. I'm not going to go to it, because of the siege, and that was fulfilled. Deuteronomy 28. You can start the 50th verse and read down. The fulfillment of that, which was one of the curses, was the fact that the Roman armies was going to take you over. And what they did was heinous, because let me read on. It says, and then with a wall of masonry, meaning they made like a stone wall. Now I got to do more research, but I'm almost positive that Wailing Wall is a wall that that these so-called Jews dwell upon, that's the wall that Titus had put up to lock the Israelites in. And what they did was they ran out of food. The whole story of eating their leather girdles and their belts, well, which are girdles, and their armbands, and eating all the leaves off the tree, eating the grass. And then they came to the point where they were eating their own children. Cannibalism set in. It says, now listen at this, it says, keep thee in on every side. The blockade established was so terribly rigid, that myriads of Jews perished of starvation. Now this right here shows you that this man's the devil. Only a devil would do that, would lock somebody in where they run out of food and they starve to death. That was a heinous crime that was committed by these devils. But you got these jakes that are into Christianity that has nothing bad to say about the so-called white man. So you know what I say to them, and they're part of the 2/3. I say, fuck them, man. The hell with them motherfuckers. You know, I'm at the point now. Anyway, you know what? Let me say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.